Alright, hey guys, so we are excited to tell you about week 3. During week 3, we left Montague, Michigan, and we headed up to Traverse City, and we had the greatest time in Traverse City. We had high expectations for it from everyone that we've heard, and I think that it definitely lived up to and exceeded our expectations. Show the camera your purse. Oh, it's so pretty. What does it have on it? What are those? No. Hey guys. So we spent today in Traverse City, and right now we're just walking down the boardwalk. We went to the Traverse City Pie Company and got some yummy pie, and we went to the beach, and it was a lot warmer today, less windy than yesterday.
And we got to fly the drone around some, so hopefully we got some decent footage.
Yeah.
I don't really know if you're allowed to fly it out there.
But we did.
But we did.
Evelyn and Brad are on their way from the park, which is right across from our little spot here in Traverse City. So tonight we're having tacos, shrimp and steak tacos from the grill with some avocado and rice. So we're eating outside tonight. Sleeping Bear National Lakeshore is one of the main attractions up in that area, and so we wanted to make sure we hit that. So we wanted to do that on the first day. And we were on our way there, and we drove past an iris farm, and I basically harassed Bradley to turn back around. He thought I was joking.
We did not make it to Sleeping Bear Sand Dunes.
No, we stayed at the iris farm the whole day. It was this beautiful farm.
It was really nice.
Yeah, and Evelyn had a blast, and she met a little friend there, and they got to play, and we got to pick our own irises, and it was just, that's like my favorite thing. I could just live on a flower farm. So we didn't make it to Sleeping Sand Dunes that day, but then the next day we ended up driving up to the Sleeping Bear National Lakeshore, and we hung out there for the day, and it was beautiful, and we were really surprised with how huge the sand dunes were.
It was a really big sand dune. So if you watched last week's video, you'll see that we did Silver Lake sand dunes.
Those were so great.
And those are really pretty, and it's a nice rolling hill kind of landscape. This was just really one massive sand dune.
It was a mountain. It was a sand mountain. And so it was really hard to hike up it with Evelyn, and we didn't make it all the way to the other side. We made it to the top of the mountain, but we didn't get to make it.
We didn't do the hike. And
yeah,
but it was picturesque once you got up there. There was a nice lake in the background. And, it was fun to hang out there with Evelyn and just kind of let her play some, so that was good.
Yeah. And so after Sleeping Bear Sand Dunes, we ended up heading over to the farmers market, the Sarah Hardy Farmers Market in Traverse City. Yeah, and that was in downtown Traverse City, and that was really cool just to see the local just like the local vendors and their local goods that they had there. And that was one of our favorite things about Traverse City, is that it was so local. And so all the shops had like locally sourced foods, and it was, you got a small town feel, even though it wasn't really a small town. It had everything that you needed there. So that was really cool. And it kind of reminded us of...
It kind of reminded me of San Francisco a little bit. Obviously a lot smaller than San Francisco, but a similar vibe in some ways. A lot of bikers, a lot of activity, a lot of people doing things, hanging out in hammocks out by the beachfront and things like that.
Yeah, just enjoying the land. And then also like all of the boutique shops and restaurants and great food. And it was just kind of trendy.
It was that local feel. Every shop you went by was advertising all of its Michigan-made goods and all of its organic and locally sourced everything. So we haven't been to Portland before, but it sounded like Portland.
We've heard a lot about Portland.
We've been to San Francisco a few times, and it definitely reminded us of that.
And then our favorite part is that there were lots of coffee shops, and I don't think we had bad coffee while we were there. We had some good coffee, and
all the coffee was good.
Brad
it was
knows.
Great for me because I went to a few different coffee shops to get Wi-Fi while I worked in the mornings. They had great Wi-Fi, so coffee shops are a good spot to go. But the main place I went was called Brew, and they had dollar coffees, so I was happy to be there. So we are currently walking down East Front Street in Traverse City, Michigan. Ashley is carrying Evelyn, and we are walking our bikes because Evelyn did not agree with riding the bike for more than about 10 minutes. So she was in the bike carrier, and now the bike carrier is just our helmets and a few things we brought along. So we are walking our bikes back about a mile, so not too bad, but obviously could have been a little more fun.
And then we ended up walking to Little Fleet, which is a food truck little spot that the food trucks come to.
Yeah, it's like a food truck pod. They're like it's a little block of just food trucks. And you go in and you pick your food truck, and there's also like a covered area with a bar and a small restaurant and things like that. So yeah, it was a really trendy place to get some different foods. And so
I like doing that because then I got to have, he had barbecue, and then I ended up getting like fish and chips, and then they had the best dessert, which was homemade
ice cream sandwiches, which were like sandwiched between like homemade cookies and ice cream in the middle. And we got one for Evelyn and one for me, and I pretty much ate both of them.
Yeah, and his was obviously the best. Brad always I always try something a little different, and his...
I always go with chocolate and peanut butter.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
It's good every time. Evelyn found my favorite flower. Are you gonna make a wish? Go show Daddy what you found. So we are in Leland right now, and it's a cute little fishing village. It's west of Traverse City, like a little northwest. And it's not actually too far from Sleeping Bear. So if you went to Sleeping Bear, you could do that in the same day. And you can see it's on this nice little river right here. And there's just like old buildings and really cute little stores and cafes. So we're excited to go check it out.
Holiday Park in Traverse City, and we were just packing up to go this morning when we realized our tongue jack is not working properly. So what was happening is, if you can see behind me here, this crank, it was turning, but it was slipping. And so we opened the top on it, and we realized that some of the prongs inside are broken off. And so when we turn it, it just slips, and it's not lifting up high enough to actually get it on the ball for the trailer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head to Menards. This is like 25 bucks, and we can replace this whole shaft. And really it's just these 3 bolts right here. And if we can take this off and just put the new one on, we should be good to go.
And you had to buy.
I also got these jack stands. I didn't know what a jack stand was until I got this home. So I didn't realize it doesn't actually jack the trailer up, but it works for what we're doing. Because I can just, since it's already lifted, I can just lower it onto these jack stands, get this off the ground, replace this part, and then jack it back up using the actual tongue jack. So it's going to work out, but obviously could have been another trip to the store.
And Evelyn is rearranging. Good job. 1, 2. 3, thank you. 4, 5. Just about to wrap up our stay here in Traverse City.
Yep, so we are leaving Holiday Park Campground right now, which was a really nice place. It looked really nice. The Wi-Fi, don't trust it. It is not good.
It's bad. So we're excited to head somewhere else. Hopefully they have a little bit better Wi-Fi.
Yeah, for sure. Other than that, it's a nice park. It's a little expensive compared to what we've stayed at before, but I think it's about the same as the area, and it's the only place to stay with a travel trailer.
Yeah, and it's a really nice, Traverse City is so great, so it's worth coming and staying we were here for a whole week and we had a great time.
Yep.
And so we ran into a couple hiccups with the trailer hitch, but we're ready to go now.
All right, bye guys.
Hey guys, good morning. So it's an early morning for us. We're getting out of here. It's already 7:30 and our goal is to get out of here by 7:45, so we're doing pretty good. But we kind of rushed this morning because Evelyn slept in a little bit. So we are leaving our harvest host here at Frisky Farm. It's just a little north of Torch Lake in Michigan, and you can see cute building behind us, and there's apple orchards behind me, and we had this humongous field all to ourselves. It was a super quiet, really nice little stay here, and the market is really great. They had a lot of locals. Everything was local. Now we are in our next spot, which we're excited to tell you guys about next week. But if you can see our breath,
it's a little chilly
here. It's cold here. So anyways, we'll see you guys next week.
All right, bye guys.